Okay, guys, um, let's get started with our Danshiki creation. The right way to create Danshiki. One thing you first notice is that Danshiki doesn't have seam on the shoulder. It doesn't have joining on the shoulder, and I've seen most people. So let's get into it. Let's go ahead and create our Danshiki. So first of all, I'm going to create my pattern. Um, I'll hit S on the keyboard. Then I only just let's click like that so that I can have this option pop up. Then my width, the width I'm going to be using will be 16 by 68 inches. And you're wondering why is it so like that? Let me hit okay before I start explaining. So first thing first is that dashiki doesn't have seam on the shoulder, and I've seen a lot of persons make that mistake. So what most people do is that they create the front bodies and then create the back bodies as well. So what they do now is that they join it on the shoulder. But lo and behold, dashiki, traditional African dashiki, I don't know of another dashiki doesn't have that seam, that joining on the shoulder. So I'm going to put some picture up actually. So this is what we do. So the same garment that flows from the front also covers the back like that. But one thing I've noticed is that most people don't know how to figure that, so I'm going to be figuring that with you. Of course, the actual length from this shoulder, from the shoulder point, the full length to say around the knee or whatever, is the half of this. So if this is 68 right now, so I'm using 34. So the full length from this shoulder point, all right, down to somewhere around the knee where the dashiki will be touching is 64. So because I know that, okay, 64 for the front, 34 for the front and 34 to the back. So if you add the two, it's going to give you what 68, right? So now what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to divide this. Just set kind of offset like that. That's the add internal ISO line. All right, I press Z on my keyboard actually for pattern editing too. Then I'm going to right click on this line there, and then I'll do add internal ISO, so that will create a kind of offset for me. And then I'm going to press 34. 34 is the actual half of the full length. Then I'll do OK. So now this line right here is going to serve as the line that is supposed to be joining with on the shoulder. But because we are not joining it, I won't have to cut this right now. And then the next thing I'm going to do is that because I'm using 16 here, all right, and I will show you the reason why I'm using 16 at this point actually as well. Okay, before we proceed, let's create another pattern, and I'm going to say 68. Oh, the width should be 12. Yeah, 12, and then 68 by 12 like that. Yeah, okay. So right, let's have this side by side like that. Now let's have it side by side like that. I'm going to shift this guy like this as well so that you can see the avatar. So actually it should be from this point down to about the shoulder. That's why we have this full length of 34, and I've explained that 34 front, 34 back, that will make 64 because I don't want to join it on the shoulder. Right now, from the back, right, from the back neck like this, now measure down to wherever I want my dashiki to reach. If you want it to stop at the ankle, fine. Dashiki can even stop here. It depends on how big you want it to to be, or how long. But just for the sake of this, so I just measure from somewhere around here to this point, and I realized that it's actually 20, right? So the length from here like this now down to the shoulder like that to somewhere around here is 20. All right, 20. But the full back to shoulder to shoulder from the back like this is 16. All right, so 16. So that's the 16 we measure here. But if you calculate from here down to somewhere around here, which is 20, and then you subtract this sleeve length from it, so because definitely is going to remain this 8, right? So whereas that's not the problem actually. So let me just quickly show you what I mean practically. So so this 16 actually is for the full length. I mean, it's for the full back to back measurement, right? Very good. So but of course it has got to be divided into 2 so that we are kind of like symmetry. So I'll hit Z on my keyboard again, and then I'll right click to look for add isolane. So what I'm looking for, what I'm going to type right now is 8 to divide that 16 into 2. Very good. Now that we have this, you realize that from this point to this point actually is going to be it's going to be um it's going to be 8. From this point to this point is going to be 8. So adding to this 12 right here is going to be 20. So which that's the sleeve length, right? Very good. Now, so I will tell you the reason I'm creating all this, right? So on this pattern as well, I'm going to create that add isolane and then divide by that's going to be 34, so that I can have it here as well. Don't bother about the other side. I'm just going to duplicate this guy here to the other side. All right. But before then, let's just continue, because the major work lies, on this neck. All right, very good. Now, I would have created this full, but most of the time, because of material insufficiency, traditional tailor, you know, join this. All right. But in a case where you have enough material that can cut the full length, there's no point having this cut into two like that. All right. But let's do it that way so that we can, do the join here as well. But like I said, this is where the major challenge is. Let's deal with this right here. Now you'll be wondering, how do I simulate this garment on top this avatar, right? This pattern on top this avatar without having any issue or problem. So this is what I recommend that you do. Now, I press 2 on my keyboard to make sure it's lined up in the front. Then I press 4 on the keyboard like that to have it at the side, at the side view. Then I rotate it up like that, and then I move it towards the neck like that, and then I will simulate. Now this is actually the secret there. So you simulate like that, but the only thing that is giving us problem here or causing this challenge here is that there is no neck O. Of course there's supposed to be neck O, and then the problem is that many people don't know how to create the neck O around here, right? This kind of attire, you don't use symmetry. You don't delete one part and then you symmetry, you apply symmetry, you duplicate symmetry, link it with sewing. No, you have to create everything by yourself. So the next I'm going to do right now is click on Z, right? And I'm going to offset this line like just about 0.25. Let me see. Okay, 0.5 will be okay. 0.5 is okay. That 0.5 depth is okay. And then I'll hit OK like that. So I want to be sure of my where my former line is. Okay, so it should be reverted backward. So that line should be here backward. Then I do OK. So this is the new line I created. This is my line at this point. Now I right click on this particular line, then I do add point to intersection so that this can be splitted like that. Alright, but this is not splitted, so I'm going to right click on this and do add point to intersection. Yeah, which I like. So the next thing is to hit X on the keyboard to add points. X on the keyboard to add point. Then I'm going to mark from this point, I'm going to measure 5. Oh, not 5. 5 should be the full neck neck depth. Neck width. So divided 5 by 2, that will now be 2.25. And if that seems too small, or 2.5 rather, that should be 2.5. So if that seems too small, then we can always adjust it. Alright, right click and do 2.5. Yeah, so that we can have that like that. Okay, so the neck as well, the neck depth is going to be 5. So that I have like 5 by 5, 5 by 5. Then don't forget, I'm using this tool, add point, and I use shortcut X to activate it from my keyboard, and I do OK. Now the next thing is to have to press D on your keyboard. D on your keyboard will activate pen tool for you to be able to draw line. Just bear with me. I like using shortcut. Then I will only let me do that again. I will start from here, then I create here, and I double click this point. I won't extend it like this. The reason is that I want to create one curve here. So by the time I create one curve and I'm satisfied with the curve I'm creating here, I will just duplicate, right? So or what I do best is, okay, I create the curve right from here. So once I click once on this other point, I drag. All right, I only drag, and then let's have this. Okay, I think I'm fine with this. So instead of me to take it further like this, I will not take it further, because you see that this length and then this length that you are seeing here, they are not the same. So it's not going to be symmetry, right? So I'm just going to click here again, like that. Double click on that so that I can have that gone. So the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to press Z on my keyboard to activate the edit pattern tool. Then I copy and paste. So what I'm doing is copy and paste mirror. So I do Control C, Control R as well. So let's go. Control C, Control R. We do copy and paste for you. Then I can drop it there like that. Now the major essence of this line, this offset that I created, is there is always a little offset at the back in your neck like that. So it's not going to be exactly on this line here, because this line is going to fall directly on the shoulder. So this offset now is just for me to be able to calculate the depth that should fall on the back. Now we are now going to cut. The next thing for us to do, I press Q on my keyboard, and then I'll select these two line, hold shift and select the other one as well. Hold shift. What's going on? Let's have it again. So I hold shift and I select the other one as well. Then I put right click, then I look for cut. Boom. Now that these have cut, I'll select that and then I'll just get rid of it. Yeah, I will just delete on my keyboard, delete that. So now see that our neck is supposed to be here, but I intentionally simulated this so that I can demonstrate what you actually need to do. Then I'll select this pattern here and I press Control F. So Control F, we take it back to the default 3D. We reset the 3D position. So instead of another method you can do is just right click on the garment. Then you are going to find reset um reset 2D arrangement, 3D arrangement here. So it's Control F, right? So I'll do that again, like press to my keyboard, press 4, and then I'll rotate it again like so, and then I will push it up like that. Yeah, so I think I can continue my arrangement like this from here. I can now simulate, press space bar my keyboard, then I simulate. You can see that now this is looking nice, simulate properly, like really nice. And you see that from this point here to this point here is what you measure, and then at the same time it still falls in the middle, right? So and then still it doesn't have joining at the seam. I see that now. It doesn't have the sewing. I mean, the sewing on the shoulder. It doesn't have. So in fact, I think I'm done with this tutorial. But let's complete it with this other side. This other side doesn't have so much. And then if you perceive it's too wide, right? You can always adjust it. Of course, Danshiki neck is, I mean, always have this kind of big neck there. I would edit on my keyboard, that is Z. Then I can push this up a bit. I would shift on my keyboard to, to lock it like that. Then I can use it say by font 5. Yeah, font 5. Let me put it that way. Yeah, I think I'm happy with this one now. Yeah, I'm happy with this level. Yeah, I'm happy with this. So what next are you going to do? I will press X on my keyboard to activate that add button point. X on my keyboard, then I'll mark something around say 2 here. What I did was that I would right click, all right, so that this window can pop up, and I put 2 there. All right, so of course if you don't want to be doing right click like that, you can just be guessing your way around. I can see that the numbers they are showing here, it's just like showing, so you can mark. But to just ease yourself, you can always insert the number or of the measurement you want. Then I hold Z again on my keyboard to select this pattern, I mean this line. I right click on it, then I will do cut. Now the reason I'm doing cut here is to have that, is to be able to have that opening in front like that. So I simulate again, then you can see that I have that small opening. That small opening is just enough, like that small opening. So there's no need doing something like this. All right, if you do something like this and then you cut it like that, you're going to have something more big. You have something bigger. So, and that might not be what you want in this case. So if situation warrant that you do something like this, then you cut it from your neck. Of course, why not? But in this case, I don't want it to. Don't forget that you are still going to simulate it and then do some animation. You don't want a case whereby you are having some animation and then things are falling out of place. Okay, so you can see that we have our front now and then we have our back now. But in fact, what I should do usually is for me to just extend this guy, this pattern here to this extent and extend it to that one. But I will not do that. So far I explained already the essence of this joining. But in case if it is traditional sewing where your fabric is enough or big, most of the time tailor, or let me say some of the time, tailor don't have seam put joining on this part. So now let's get to it and leave talk. I will do I will bring this back and then let's activate it. So the same thing I did, 2 on my keyboard, 4 on my keyboard, then I rotate it like that. Mhm. I rotate it like that. Yeah, I rotate it like that. So I just hit N on my keyboard for segment sewing. That is segment sewing. You know, I pick here, and then there you go. So I just simulate like that. Yeah, cool. So the next thing I do is I'll just do Control C, Control D on my keyboard. So Control Shift Control D will take it to the other side, but with this time around it's now symmetry, and then it's going to be with sewing. Boom. Okay. I don't know why this thing is not perfect. Like it's supposed to fall on that exact position there. So then I'm going to, okay. It doesn't show it for me, but that's not a problem. If I don't have the sewing, I'll just hit N on my keyboard again, and then I sew like that. Then I'll simulate exactly. Now we're having our dashiki. So the next thing is to now join the side. Now to join the side, you don't just like do M on your keyboard and then join the side like this and then join like that. No, it's not visible like that. It's not done like that even in traditional sewing. No, it may look like it makes sense, but if you are any traditional tailor that sew danshiki for you like this, I will say don't give the person work again. So I'm just going to like press B on my keyboard for the editing to edit this like, and then get rid of it. Then I'm going to simulate it again so that you can see the opening. So what usually happens is that you will have to press S on your keyboard and then create another pattern. So it's going to be 3 inches wide and then 22. I will show you what it looks like. So and then 22, right? So it's this line, right? I mean this pattern here that's going to be on the side. So that's what will be joining the front to the back. I don't know if you understand that. So this is how that works. I'm going to position this rightly so that okay, I have to my keyboard, then you come here and let me do 4 and then let's have it that way so that I'm just going to do a little bit of turning there. Yeah. So now this is what we have to do. We use this guy here to now join. The reason is so that we can have some kind of what's called bustiness, some kind of fullness in the danshiki. Whereas if you have sewn this side to this side, right, you're just going to be flat like that, but you need some kind of big vibe on your danshiki. So that's what the danshiki is all about. So I just do M on my keyboard. Now this time around, M on my keyboard to activate free sewing. I'm not going to use segment sewing. So I sew this side like this. As you can see, I'll sew this side to this side. So you can see that it has already marked the point where I should stop, or for me, then I mark it like that. Very good. So this side is sewn to the front now, and then I want this side to be sewn to the back as well. So two things I can do is to also sew it from the 3D viewport like this. But this time around it's going to demand me to double click. If you are using this free sewing, if you are using the free sewing in 3D viewport, you have to double click like that, and then let's go, and then like that, so that you don't have any problem with the sewing. And then one thing you observe is that this sewing, actually this side is this side like this is sewn to this side like this. Can you see that? So don't make that mistake. Best you can just sew it on the inside the 3D viewport like this. But if you're like master like me, I can just sew it directly on this place, and then I know that I'm measuring from top to down, or from bottom to up, then from bottom. This place will actually be bottom. Forget, because it's folded to the back. So this place will be what? The bottom. It's not going to be the front. This back, and if this from here is the back, that's say this place is the what? Is the bottom. You can see if I select a point on this place, you can see where the point is located. As you can see where the point is located as well. So that's bottom. If I select this side, which is up now, you can see that this place is what? Is up. So the next thing I'm just going to do is that I'm going to duplicate this guy as well. I just do Ctrl C, Ctrl D to duplicate with sewing. Then boom, right there. It already has the sewing, so I don't need to stress again. And this is what I'm going to like. This is what I'm going to. This is what I'm going to simulate. Let's see, very nice stuff. Yeah, and then this side, if you perceive is too big, is too long, and depending on your preference, because though personally I like that it's this long, because I wouldn't like that I wear clothes and then my armpit or my singlet is showing. All right, so but with this kind of close up, you have everything. You have your armpits and then your singlets covered actually. So or you can still reduce it depending on you. So you press Z on your keyboard to like bring it down. You can hold shift on your keyboard to also make sure that okay, it's straight, it's locked on a straight line. Then I can reduce it by say 3 inches. Let's see how 3 inches is going to look. So don't forget that it's also reduced here, because what happens to this guy is happening to this guy as well. It's just mirror duplication that I did there. Alright, yeah, you have to edit your sewing as well, because now that you've reduced this guy has got to be what? It's not no longer, so you have to reduce it as well. So it will show you where you want to stop. Can you see now? So then you simulate again. Yeah, so if this is what you want, congratulations, you have been able to create your Danshiki successfully. And that's how Danshiki is, curated. It's created. So nothing else, nothing much, nothing else. But let me quickly show us one thing that can make you have at least a fine gator on your shoulder like this. Fine gator on this similar one. Let me show you. So you've got to select these lines. Though it's broken, but let's select it. You have to select the 2 lines there, and of course this one as well. Hold shift and select this guy as well. So because this is a kind of duplicate of this, and the same thing will be happening to it. Is symmetry. So yeah, I'll just go to my property editor here. Let me push it up a bit. Then watch. I'm going to do A, and then Control H. H is to have everything. H there is to have everything strengthened, like this. Yeah, like this. So I will show you what happened now on the shoulder. So Z again. Let's go. Let's select all this line, and then let's have the same folding angle there. So I'm going to simulate so that you can be seeing what is happening on the shoulder, right? So if I move this up to say okay, what it does is that it goes inside. Let's take it to that 0. So you can now see that you have this folding there, like that. So yeah, as though it's realistic, as though you iron it. You get, yeah, as though you iron it. So you want to have that as well. Yeah, so and then you can also adjust the fold strength. How strong do you want it to be? Realistic fold rendering. See what is going on here. If I turn on realistic food. It's going to look very good. Food render. You can play around with those parameters actually and see how they work. So you can see how they work. So basically, you are done creating your Danshiki. Then you can see that everything is now all right. So that's how to create a Danshiki. Then I'm just going to apply my material, which is this one. So just comment, put it on the comment section if you would like that I show you how I created this realistic Ashoke fabric. Just put it in the comment section. And then another thing I'll be showing you in the nearest future is how you can get these graphics. Yeah, how you can create these graphics even from an existing garment. So I just put my graphics here like that. Yeah, something like that. So you can see it's a very nice thing. Just adjust it to make sure that they are okay. So guys, this is the end of the tutorial, and anticipate the next tutorial. Don't forget to like, share, more importantly, subscribe and turn up your notification bell so that when I drop the next tutorial you are aware. So thank you guys.